following is a paid program. Its views and opinions are not necessarily those of this station or its management.
Good morning, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour, starring Gary Rossignol of Berkshire Hathaway Professional Realty. To be part of the program, dial 513-749-1480 to get answers to all your questions about your home and property. The number again, 513-749-1480. And now, here's Gary.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the all-new Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on 1480 WDJO Cincinnati. We invite you to sit. You know, this is a fantastic day. I woke up this morning and says, what a great day we're going to have. I'm so glad you're tuning in and listening to us this morning because I have some great guests in here this morning. We just invite you to sit back and relax, enjoy our compelling discussions. We're going to have some musical thoughts and maybe help you learn something about your neighborhood, community, and hometown where you live here in Cincinnati. Because I have my special guest this morning is Heather Kopf. She is of the Kopf Group Realtors. And I also have Andy Clark, who is in charge of events and communications at Cincinnati Area Board of Realtors.
Yeah.
You have a big job, my friend.
I do.
You just got off your worst month of the year. It's behind you now. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes. Later on in the show, my dear friend Ria Davidson, she's one of the co-founders with the Dragonfly Foundation, is going to call in. We're going to get an update. We are sold out for the benefit. We'll talk more about that in just a little while. And at this time, I also like to express my gratitude to all the active members and all the veterans of the armed forces who selflessly give themselves so we can enjoy the freedoms that we have today. You know, they give up their homes, they give up their careers, they give up their families, and many of them give up their lives, God bless their hearts, so that we can enjoy the freedoms we have. We don't pay them back enough, not enough. Even the VA loan is not enough. You know, that's a 0% down loan. You know about that, Heather.
Absolutely.
You're a realtor.
Yes, it's an amazing product.
Yes. So if you're out and about and you see somebody in the armed forces, from afar, give them the thank you sign. Shake their hand, give them a big old hug, thank them for us, pick up their tab, buy their coffee, their lunch, let them know that we recognize their services, that we love them, and we appreciate everything they do for us. We don't do that enough. And I am a realtor. I've been realtoring for 28 years. I just made that up. Realtoring,
new verb. I like it.
Realtoring. If you're looking to buy a home, call a realtor. If you're looking to sell a home, call a realtor. And one big reason is that we have all the necessary up-to-date data about your home in the neighborhood that you want to sell or the home that you're trying to buy through our active membership with the National Association, the Ohio Association, the Cincinnati Area Board, and our local MLS multiple listing service. Our data is up to date to the moment, unlike Zillow and Trulia. Great websites, but false information most of the time, right?
Absolutely.
So don't go there. Go to one of our websites. We'll give out some websites. Mine is PricelineHomes.com. There you can download my amazing 39-step system to get your home sold fast and for top dollar. And if you want to know why a realtor is so important, we have a fiduciary responsibility to you. That means you have an expert who is looking out for your best interest. An expert who's contractually bound to do everything in their power to protect you, and that's big. That's big. So call a realtor. Let's see. Now I'd like to bring my attention to the topic of the day, which is Realtors With Heart Committee. I'm a member of the Cincinnati Area Board of Realtors, and in doing so, I like to give back every year. I'm on 2 committees, usually every year. I've been on the Realtor of the Year committee for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And this year, I'm really tickled pink. When I saw the opportunity to do this, I went, I got to be on this committee, Realtors with Heart committee. So I have with me the chairperson of the Realtors with Heart. That's a big job, being chairperson.
It is. It's one.
How do you do that?
I'm very excited to be a part of it. It's a wonderful committee that actually gives back to the community, and it is just something that I hold passionate in my heart because I want to share this information with the public, and that's what our committee.
Now, you're in the trenches. You're out there every day listing and selling houses along with your husband, Pete.
Yes.
Pete's a great guy.
I think so too.
I've known Pete for years. He's been in here. He's a fantastic realtor. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a house, I encourage you to call either Heather or Pete. Give them your phone number, Heather.
My cell phone is 513-378-1167, and we'd be happy to help you anyway. Thanks for having us, Gary.
You bet. So what's the Realtor with Heart all about?
Well, Realtors with Heart is the first ever philanthropic committee within the Cincinnati Area Board of Realtors. And what we're doing as a committee is our mission is trying to make Greater Cincinnati a more heart-safe city. Our goal is to help with CPR training, AED placements in the community.
Okay, we're throwing some initials around.
Yes,
Some people don't know what CPR is.
Sure. CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So it's when you try to bring someone back to life if they have sudden cardiac arrest. AEDs, those are the machines that are automated external defibrillators, and it's kind of what you see on the TV shows when they put the paddles on and they have...
They say clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they jump 5 feet off the table. Does that really happen?
Not necessarily. They do jump a little bit.
Okay.
But they do have portable ones that we are trying to get out in the community. And that's part of what our committee does. We help to train people with CPR. We help to get AEDs out in the community. And we are working on advocacy to have legislation so that AEDs are required in public buildings.
All right. Now, if you have a question for Heather or Andy or myself, you can pick up the phone and call 513-749-1480. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions about this. Or if you have had any past experience with the use of or the need for the use of AEDs or CPR, or if you have been trained in either of these, and we're going to get into some of the training in just a little bit. So the committee, Realtors with Heart, have been responsible for placing 4 AEDs in the Cincinnati area already.
Absolutely. With the Cincinnati Area Board of Realtors, the Realtor with Heart Committee, in 2012, we donated one to the Aronoff Center, and that was right before the World Choir Games. So it was an excellent opportunity to have that available when we had so many people visiting our city. Back in 2013, we donated one to Findlay Market, which, again, as you know, many people know, thousands and thousands of people go through there every weekend and throughout the week. And then this past year in 2014, we were able to raise enough funds to be able to donate 2 AED machines to the Cincinnati Park Board. One was donated to the Crone Conservatory, and we presented that on December 22nd, right before the holidays. And the second one will be placed at the Carol Ann Carousel, which is down on the banks. And once that building is complete this spring, the AED machine will be up there.
Wow. So we have only 4 so far in the Cincinnati area in public places?
4 that we have donated.
Okay.
Now, there are other offices and buildings that have them, but clearly not enough.
Do we know where they are located?
Well, that's part of the goal of one of the things that Andy has been working on with the AED link system.
Okay.
We might be able to talk a little bit more about that later on in the show.
Right, absolutely. So now that we have these 4 devices out there, what's the goal of the Realtors with Heart Committee?
Well, our biggest goal is to increase the bystander participation rate. Right now in the city of Cincinnati, if somebody on the street has sudden cardiac arrest, only about 11.5% of Cincinnatians would offer to step in and help that person, help them by doing CPR or calling 911.
So the other 89% are going to stand back and go, I'm not going to get involved.
People are afraid to get involved, whether they're unsure of how to do CPR or they're afraid that they might be held liable, which is not the case.
We don't know what to do.
Well, and that's our goal. We're hoping to train the community in CPR. We offer classes. We offer to come to your group and community to host these classes and train people in bystander CPR.
Okay.
It's a hands-only CPR class. If you haven't taken CPR in the recent years, you would be amazed about the different types of training that are available and how easy it is to help someone and to get 911 there when it's needed.
So how long are these classes?
We can tailor them to your needs. We can do classes as quick as about 45 minutes to an hour. Usually our instructor, Mark Johnson with the Christ Hospital, he is an EMS director there, and he is fabulous, over 30 plus years of experience. And he can tailor the class to your needs. We
Okay.
can do it for 1 hour. We can do it for up to 3 hours.
Now, for realtors, I understand we do have continuing education,
Yes.
which should be a real ploy to get agents in there to learn something good rather than just learn some more about contracts and negotiations and addendums, you know.
I mean, all of those things are wonderful to learn about for real estate,
But
for
this
sure.
is saving
But
lives.
this is something that we have an opportunity truly to save someone's life. We actually do continuing education classes at the board. We've also done it at the Ohio Association level at the Ohio Conference last September in Cleveland. Our goal is to kind of get this program out to all realtors, not only in Cincinnati, but across the state and across the nation, because realtors have an opportunity to spread this message and to save somebody's life potentially.
Right. Whoever talks more than realtors, I don't know. We should hit up some used car salespeople too.
That might work.
They're good. And we have to give all the due where due is respectfully needed. And that Lori Nippert Leonard, she is the person who spearheaded this whole project, 3-4 years ago?
Without question. It actually started along with Project Heart Restart, which was a junior league project several years ago. And Lori was involved with that and was able to bring with that the program of Realtors with Heart to the Board of Realtors.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you. We appreciate that. We need to go away for our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Andy about these registrations, these AEDs. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on 1480 WDJO Cincinnati.
You're seeing some new real estate signs all over Ohio. They're for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty. Their agents and brokers promise straight talk about the market, about pricing your home, and all of your real estate needs. One of the most respected names in business now in real estate, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty. Find a local agent at ohiohomesandrealestate.com. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty is an independently owned and operated franchisee of BHH Affiliate LLC.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
Hey, we're rocking the house this morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gary Rossignol. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty, better known as Cincinnati's Rock and Roll Realtor. I'll tell you why in a little while. But I have with me in the studio here, I have Heather Kopf. She is the chairperson of the Realtors With Heart Committee, and I also have a member of the committee. You're the liaison of the committee, and you're actively participating in the committee as well, which is unusual.
Yeah, it usually is.
Andy Clark.
Yeah, Andy Clark, that's right. As a staff person, typically we help the chair prepare agendas and minutes and things like that and get things that they need. But with this committee, it is different in the fact that I do serve and help out with the committee. And
I have to tell you, I've been chairperson of several committees, and I've been on a lot of committees. And when you came on board, you've been there, 3 years now?
Full time.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Yeah.
You came on and really didn't get to know you, and it was the last 2 years at the Realtor of the Year committee. You are so organized. you have everything at our finger. You are fantastic, and the Cincinnati Area Board of Realtors is just they're wonderful to have you around.
Well,
You're going to go.
Thank you. I really enjoy what I do.
You make life so much, because we realtors, we have to co-chair and chair and be on committees, and we have to do stuff. We have to list and sell houses, and we got kids and families, and it's a lot of stuff to do. And to walk into a committee room to have everything laid out, you're the best. You're absolutely the best.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So realtors out there, and I encourage every realtor. We've got 4,500 licensed realtors in the Cincinnati Area Board of Realtors.
Just about, yep.
We've got about 15 committees, 20 committees.
About 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do we have, about maybe 12 or 15% of our population on committees?
Yeah, that's about right.
Why? Why isn't there 50%?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish more people would get involved.
And it's the same people year after year after year. And you know what? If you're listing and selling real estate and you're not actively involved in our board of realtors, you're missing the boat. This is a big part of what we do. We're not just doing this to make money. That's the end product. We're all making a good living, but those who are making good livings are doing what? They're in committees.
Really? Yeah.
Think about that.
Being involved with the board, I think it's a phenomenal opportunity not only to stay up to date on your current industry trends so that you can better help your clients, but it is a wonderful way to network with other agents and to get tricks of the trade and help each other out. We're all in it for the end, same goal,
Right.
and to work collaboratively with other agents is so much easier than being combative.
Right, exactly. So, Andy, you're very active in your community.
I am. I serve on Norwood City Council. I've on my second term with Norwood, and so yeah, I'm very involved in my community.
And your goal, you've started it in Norwood as far as getting the AEDs registered.
That's correct. Yeah, there's an AED link system that communicates with 911 operators. What this is, and I'm proud to say that Norwood was the first community in this area to sign on to that.
Hear that, Norwood? Hands up. That is great. Thumbs up to Norwood.
Yeah. So our goal is to get all AEDs, no matter where they are, to get them registered. And how you can do that is go to the nationalaedregistry.com. You go there. It's it takes less than 5 minutes to fill it out.
So you can just Google it, I guess.
Yeah, you can Google it or just type it right in, and it's just a form you fill out. What we're trying to do is it's essential that AEDs are registered for this AED link system. Someone calls 911 for someone with sudden cardiac arrest. The 911 operator will be able to see where the closest AED is. So that way they can say, hey, right down the street at this building is an AED. It's available. Someone can run and get it. We find that if someone is able to respond within 3 to 5 minutes, it dramatically increases the chance of survival with someone. So it's important that we have AEDs everywhere, but we know where they are as well so that we can get them to a victim.
We just had a situation at Washington Park during Luminosity.
Absolutely.
Last year. You want to explain what happened?
Well, there was an individual who was there for Luminosity, obviously tens of thousands of people there for that amazing event, and someone went into cardiac arrest. And by truly the sheer grace of God, a bystander,
a good Samaritan
great
Samaritan,
had an AED machine in his trunk of his car.
Wow.
I think he was in the healthcare field. He was able to retrieve the AED machine, and that AED machine saved that person's life. They are only alive because of the AED machine. Yes.
Yeah. So our goal this year is what, Andy?
Well, I would like to see that as many as we can register their AEDs in the Cincinnati area. Again, it's really simple. It's also a benefit to you because we know that the pads and batteries and things that come in AEDs eventually expire, and you do need to replace them over time. So this website will actually remind you when those things need to occur. If there's ever an issue with it, they'll let you know. So that way, it's really a benefit to you as well to know when you need to replace things.
There could be one somewhere near Washington Park and we don't know it.
Exactly. And that's what, it's great to have this AED link system, but if the AEDs aren't registered, we still don't know where the AEDs are, and we need to know. And it's also great when you register, you can register responders. So let's say I have an AED in my office. We do at the board. If someone down the street goes into sudden cardiac arrest, I will receive a phone call that says, down the street, so-and-so needs an AED, can you bring it? Okay. And then I can respond and
so it
run
works both ways.
It does.
Wow.
It's really a great program, and it's going to be a great opportunity for this area.
You know what we need to put an AED near Washington Park because they're going to have more luminosities, more big events, and that's a very public area.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, on the thought process for where we hope to donate AED machines in 2015. Our goal would be able to keep up with the trend of raising enough funds to donate 2 each year.
Or we need to make sure that Great Samaritan is at all the events at Washington Park in the future.
That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Well, and we talked about it in our last committee meeting was if we get one and funded for us, and they're not cheap.
No,
it costs, when you donate an AED machine, you need to also train the people who work in that particular facility. So the cost of donating the machine, the case that it goes in, and the training that follows is about $3,000.
Okay.
So for every machine that we donate with those classes, we need to raise at least $3,000.
Okay.
Individuals and individual companies can purchase their own AED machines for a lesser cost.
Okay.
But that does not include the training that goes along with it,
Right.
if that makes sense. And the
Gotcha.
training is invaluable because if you're not confident using the machine, you're not going to use the machine.
Right.
So, the training that we offer, the CPR classes and the AED training, we actually have AED trainers in the classes so that the participants in the classes not only learn the hands-only CPR, they learn actually how to place the pads on a victim, and it shows the step-by-step process that the AED machines talk the person through how to use it.
But I know you mentioned in our committee meeting that an 11-year-old could do it.
Absolutely. I have trained 5th and 6th grade kids at my daughter's school.
Okay.
All of those kids often go through what's called a stay-at-home class or a babysitter class. And some of them opted to do the CPR training that we offer. And it's great because it not only does the CPR and the AED training, but some basic first aid skills as well.
Wonder why they don't have the training in the high schools and in the grade schools.
Well, right now, I know in the Archdiocese of Cincinnati, it's a requirement now to graduate 8th grade. They have to have the CPR training.
Good.
So I know that a lot of the Archdiocesan schools are going through that, and I'm certain that all of the school systems will hopefully
cool.
soon follow suit.
Right, I'll have to check with I belong to St. Michael's in Sharon. I'll have to check with them and see if they're following through with that.
And I'd love to know if anybody out there, if they know of their school systems, if they require it or what your experience is. It'd be great to hear feedback.
Right. So you say it's very easy to use, and what about the maintenance? You mentioned the maintenance. How long do the batteries last on a machine?
Usually about 10 years. So, I mean, it's not something you're replacing very often, but and that's why typically people forget to replace them, as it's been sitting, you've not needed to use it. But it's just that one time that you're going to need it. So that's why it's important to make sure that the pads and the batteries are constantly replaced.
So if you use your AED machine, which heaven forbid that you have to use, but if you do and you save 4 or 5 lives within a couple of months, do the batteries wear out, or can you recharge them?
Yeah, you would need to replace them.
Replace them so they don't get recharged.
I think there's probably programs where you can send out the batteries to be recharged or whatever and sent back, but it's usually replaced after 10 years.
Are they very big machines? Are they about 4 by 5 inches, or?
I think they're probably
I went the size of a medium-sized purse.
Yeah,
from a female's perspective.
Right. Okay.
not super huge and
not very heavy.
Not at all. Very light, very easy to use. In fact, one of the things I like about it, you learn in the training class, if your victim does not need to be shocked, it will not shock the victim. It measures the electric pulses. So if you're doing CPR and the person does not need to be shocked, it will not shock the victim.
When do you think they'll have an app for our smartphones?
And there might already be one in existence. I don't know. That would be good.
I mean, they do everything else.
Absolutely.
right.
You can even dial your mom. Pick it up and call home.
right.
So, okay, I'm intrigued by the 911 responder thing. So if somebody keels over in downtown Cincinnati and somebody calls 911, the 911 responder should be able to tell you first and foremost there is an AED machine right around the corner in front of so-and-so place. Run and get it.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it'll show them the address where it should say where it's located. If it's on the 3rd floor on a wall somewhere, it'll say exactly where it is.
Wow, that's fantastic. We need to go away for our second break. When we come back, more stuff with Andy and Heather. My name's Gary Rossignol. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on 1480 WDJO Cincinnati.
You're seeing some new real estate signs all over Ohio. They're for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty. Their agents and brokers promise straight talk about the market, about pricing your home, and all of your real estate needs. One of the most respected names in business now in real estate, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty. Find a local agent at ohiohomesandrealestate.com. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty is an independently owned and operated franchisee of BHH Affiliate, LLC.
Welcome to my musical history lesson for January 24, 2015. In 1953, Eddie Fisher was #1 on the UK singles chart with Outside of Heaven. American singer and entertainer, he divorced his first wife, Debbie Reynolds, to marry his best friend's widow, Elizabeth Taylor. Too much unwelcome publicity at the time, but you know, Eddie is the father of actress Carrie Fisher. Didn't know that, did you? Today in 1958, the Quarrymen performed at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. This was the band's only performance at the club. It was 3 years later when they appeared again at the Cavern, but under their new name, the Beatles. There you go, the answer. In 1969, the Doors appeared at Madison Square Garden, New York City. They were paid over $50,000 for the gig, making them the highest paid act in 1969. Unbelievable. Today in 1979, The Clash released their first single in the U.S., I Fought the Law, and the Law Won, written by Sonny Curtis of Buddy Holly's Crickets. And today in 1980, a billboard was erected on Sunset Strip, West Hollywood, California, to promote Pink Floyd's new album, The Wall. It was a blank wall, was pasted up, and each day a brick was removed to slowly reveal the inside spread of the title of the album. Didn't know that, did you? And today in 2005, country singer Lynn Anderson was arrested for shoplifting after being caught stealing a Harry Potter DVD from a New Mexico supermarket and punching a police officer during her arrest. The 57-year-old had the 1970 top 5 hit, Rose Garden. Didn't know that, did you? Here it comes. Wait for it. Wait for it. The infamous song, written, recorded by Neil Diamond, who is 74 years old today. Happy birthday, Neil Diamond.
Where it began.
He not only did this, but in 1970, he had the #1 single, Cracklin' Rose, plus over 30 other U.S. top 40 singles. He wrote I'm a Believer for the #1, which was #1 for the Monkees. And many acts from Elvis Presley, Lulu, Deep Purple, all have covered his songs. With his 2008 album, Home Before Dark, Diamond became the oldest artist to have a U.S. #1. The record was previously held by Bob Dylan in 2006 with Modern Times. He is still, he's doing like 30 gigs this year, touring. I hope I can do that when I'm 74. I also have to mention happy birthday to John Belushi, who would have been 66 today if he had not died from a drug overdose, March 5th, 1982. But what a great super guy. He played Joliet Jake Blues in the Blues Brothers. Wow. So that ends my musical history lesson for January 24, 2015. I gave away the answer to the prize. All right, you're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour. My name is Gary Rossignol. I am better known as the Rock and Roll Realtor because I play with the greatest classic rock band in Cincinnati, BlueStone Ivory. We've been around, folks, since 1969 when we started the band. We've been together for the last 15 years. You can catch us live on February the 7th at Memories in Harrison. On February 14th, we're going to be the entertainment at the Love Rocks Dragonfly Gala at the Savannah Center in Westchester, which is sold out, by the way. There's no tickets left for that. February 28th, we're going to be in Legends in Bridgetown. And if you're a member of the Middletown Moose, we'll be there March 6th and 7th. So you got a lot of opportunities to hear the greatest classic rock band in Cincinnati, BlueStone Ivory. Go to our website, bluestoneivory.com. We are booking ourselves through the summer. You can catch us at your neighborhood church festival, community concert, and neighborhood fair. I think we got July 3rd and July 4th booked, too, as a matter of fact. So we're going to have fun this summer. I have with me in the studio Heather Kopf. You work side by side with your husband, Pete.
I do. We have separate offices, though. That's
do you?
good.
Okay.
Separate rooms in the office. I'm just teasing.
Now, do you have your own personal assistant?
We have a team that we all work together. So
the
we have
Kopf team.
Yes, Kopf Group Realtors.
How many are in your team?
We have 5.
5.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you must have a buyer's agent and a closing coordinator and
the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Yes. We've taken on some new agents in the last year and a half, which has been great to mentor and train with them. And Pete's a third generation
Yes, he
realtor.
is.
So he's a wonderful person to learn from.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And you know Pete very well, too.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed working with Pete. He was president of our board in 2012. 11?
11,
yeah.
Yeah, not too long ago. So it was really great working with
Yeah.
him. I've always enjoyed working with Pete.
He's a young guy, and he's gonna superstar.
Yeah, absolutely. He's great.
That's cool. So I wanted to get back. We're talking about the Realtors with Heart committee, which is unlike any other committee at the board. We have what are some that we've got? Professional Standards Committee is one of my favorite committees. I mean, there you get the nuts and bolts of how to do our business, and that's a tremendous committee. What are some of the other? We got the Realtor of the Year committee. We've got the Golf Outing committee, and we got the MLS committee. We get the MLS operations. We got contracts and forms.
Professional development, which is like education for realtors.
Okay, is that now? It's called the Education Committee.
Yeah, it's now called the Professional Development Committee.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because Annette has retired.
She has. We have Amanda Wilson who's
Right.
with us.
Yeah.
She's great, and she's got a year under her belt now, so we're happy to have her there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunities. If you're a licensed realtor and you're tuning in, I know there's a bunch of you out there listening, and you don't want to pick up the phone and get involved by calling up and saying you guys are doing a great job, or telling us about a situation where an AED or CPR saved your life or a fellow person's life that you know about. We'd love to hear from you. 749-1480. Please jump on and let us know. But you need to get involved in our Cincinnati area board of realtors. If you're a realtor, you should be doing this full time. We'll allow you to do part-time for a while till you get your feet wet and learn what's doing. But if you're going to go out there and list and sell property, you got to make this your primary business. I said it. My show, I can say what I want to say. And I firmly believe that. I tried it part-time for about 2 months. And I was on my other job, and a lady came in, brought her VCR in to get fixed, and I was heading up the shop there at the repair place, and I was on the phone trying to do it. She says, "Young man, I'm in here. You should leave your business at home and do my business here." And I went, "You know what? You're absolutely right, lady." And the next week I walked out of there. I said, "I'm going to do this full time."
Yeah.
Haven't looked back since then. So there you go. But we are primarily talking about the AED machines, which are
The automated external defibrillators.
right, and CPR,
Cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Right.
It's a mouthful.
It's a tongue twister.
and there's only like 11% of our population in the Hamilton County that knows what those mean or even have an idea of how to operate them, how to do it.
And that is the goal of our committee, is to try to increase that bystander
There are some cities that are up to 88%.
For example, Seattle, it's over 70% bystander participation. Wow. And part of that comes as it was a community goal to make sure that everybody was trained. And we're trying to do that here in the greater Cincinnati market.
And so this is just a stepping stone to
Absolutely.
try and get more participation from our from the community at large.
Right. We're hoping that by continuing to do the CPR classes for the community, to host the AED training and getting AED machines out in the community, and by advocating with local and state legislatures, or that we can get this initiative.
Now, those that are listening in, you know, our fellow realtors, my past customers and clients, and the people who listen into the show every week, what could they do to help enhance this?
Well, I mean, one thing that they could do is if they have a group of people that they think would benefit from having a CPR class, get a group of your mom's group, your school friends, your PTO board, your coaches at your children's school.
Go, yeah.
See if they would like to have a class. The class is we can come to you and host the class either at your home,
Your softball team.
at your business, your softball team,
Little
and it
league
can be
team, yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
We've had people do it with a happy hour afterwards, which is, always enjoyable. People like the socializing component to it. But like you said earlier, it can be young, kids 5th grade or up can learn how to do this process and be confident and comfortable.
There's a website that they can go to and get all the information, isn't it?
Yes, we can go. We have a website at the Board of Real Estate. It's www.cabr.org/RWH.
Realtors with Heart.
Correct. And that lists all of our current active classes, has some photos from some of the programs that we've done in the past in a lot more detail.
Now, we have a pro that teaches these classes.
Yes, Mark Johnson is with the Christ Hospital, and he is the EMS director there. He's been phenomenal at volunteering his time to help further our mission.
Wow.
And we can't thank him enough. He really dedicates a lot of time and talent to this program.
Okay. Now, individual realtors, you can have them at your office. Instead of having that Tuesday office meeting once a week, why don't you just have your manager say, we're going to do a 2-hour meeting, or even do a 3-hour meeting. Have your breakfast and then have lunch afterwards. Get 3 hours of CE and hold.
Well, absolutely. You can do it that way, and we can do it as short as 45 minutes for those of you that want to keep it in your sales training meetings, and it's a phenomenal way to get all of the realtors trained, and then they can take that out to their sphere of influence.
Heather, thank you for being here today, and Andy, we thank you too.
Thanks for having us.
We need to go away for our last break. When we come back, we're going to have Ria Davidson and give us an update on the Dragonfly Foundation. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on 1480 WDJO Cincinnati.
The house is a rockin'
You're seeing
It's just, and I can't tell you when we sold out, Christine and I, we're not good at math. I mean, we're good at a lot of things, but math is not one of our strong suits. And we just have to keep adding and adding. And literally it happened, in fact, over a 5-hour period, because I had left to go to meetings at 1 in the afternoon. I didn't come home till 6, so I was offline for 5 hours. And when I got home, we had gone from 410 to 480 in 5 hours, and there was no publicity, so there was no news. It was just like this rush of everybody going, oh my gosh, I think I want to make sure I get tickets. But the problem I'm having now is all these people are calling, and they're procrastinators like anybody would be, because I know I am, and I think there'll be tickets available, and now people are upset. So it's crazy. It's just insane. And so I'm so grateful to you, to everybody, to BlueStone, Ivory, and just so thankful. Thank you.
We're only responsible for about 12 or 15 of those 480 tickets, but
but look how many people you help me reach every week, and to keep those people informed is just important. And I don't want you to think I take that for granted for 1 second.
No, never. And every little bit helps. My show reaches out to literally hundreds and hundreds of folks. There's stations that reach out to thousands and thousands, but the hundreds and hundreds we reach are important.
Everyone is important. Yes. Every single one of them.
Yep. So, after the gala, what's next in the horizon for the Dragonfly Foundation?
Well, we actually have a candy race, the flying pig, the shamrock shuffle. We have there's many events, but our next big one is the golf tournament. Yeah. And and you've been involved in that too, and that's we sell that out every year. We can't expand that because you can only have so many golfers, and we don't want to double up and make it a 10-hour golf tournament. No. So it's a 4.5-hour scramble, and so that fills up pretty quickly, but it always goes so well, and it's so much fun. And so we've got a lot of great things, and I encourage people to go to our website, which is dragonfly.org, and see if there's something that appeals to them. It might not be a gala, it might not be a golf tournament, but maybe it's a restaurant event or some other things. And we've got some things in the works too that I think might interest some of your people. So I'm sure I'll be able to talk about it, if not next week, the week after.
So is there still a big surprise that's going to be announced at the gala?
Oh my God!
Okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't kill me first, yeah.
No hints, huh? That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
All right. Sounds great. Ria, thank you very much. We will talk to you next Saturday or during the week. I'll be in touch with you, and we love you a bunch.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea how much I have mad love for you, Gare.
Thanks for coming on again today.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Great.
Bye, Ria. That's Ria Davidson with the Dragonfly Foundation. What a great organization! It is sold out, but go to thedragonfly.org. If you want to help them out right now, you can text the word joy to 80100, and that'll put $5 in their account on your phone bill. Or TDF, text TDF to 80100, that'll put $10 in their bank account. Go on your cell phone bill, no big deal. You know, you can do that 4 or 5 times a day, every day of the week. Don't forget, if you have a real estate question, you can call me this week at 513-777-2402. And next week, my guest is going to be Bob Pape. He's with Interlink Mortgage Services. Have you ever met Bob? Oh, you need to tune in. This guy is a hoot. He's really good. He's down to earth, and he knows his stuff. He's a great, great guest and a great mortgage guy. All my folks are great, you know. Coming up next is Tony Bender and Dane Donovan and the Car Tech Show. If you have a question about your automobile, tune in. He will take care of that. And last but not least, this is BlueStone Ivory's live version of the Neil Diamond hit. Now, this is not Neil Diamond, but this is my band, BlueStone Ivory, playing live, Sweet Caroline. Till next week.
Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's growing strong. It was in the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching hand, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never were. Now look at the night, and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only 2. And when I hurt, curtain runs off my shoulder. How can I hurt when holding you? Touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never were. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, to believe they never could. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, to believe they never were.
Wow, thank you for tuning in to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour, starring yours truly, Gary Rossignol. For all all your real estate needs, you can reach me at 513-777-2402 or go to my website, which is rockandrollrealestateagent.com. I'd like to thank my regular major sponsors for making this show possible. Rakina Niehaus and Art Weber of Wooden Lamping, the musical insurance guy, Gary Rasmussen of Farmers Insurance, Bob Pape with Interlink Mortgage Services, Mike McCormick, the Cincy Tax Coach, Lou Amsoff of Title Screen, Russell Kling with West Banco, Pete McCrary, the Junk King, and Ed Hensley of First Financial Bank. I would also like to thank Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Professional Realty, my broker Dave Massari, and Bob Daniel, my manager. A special thank you to WDJO 1480 Cincinnati, Jerry Welch, Station Manager Gary Stevens, and my producer Kevin Kinney. A real big thank you to all my clients, friends, family, and fans of BlueStone Ivory, and especially my wife, Mary Jo. Until next week, keep on knocking on my rockin' houses. So long for now.
The preceding program was a paid program. Its views and